welcome to Sharing a Quantity into a Given Ratio with Cube Education. In this lecture, you will understand what ratio is, split quantities into ratios, and write ratios as fractions. So, let's have a look at an example where we share €10 between Mandy and Lara in the ratio of 3 to 2. Now, when you're writing the answers to your exams, what I want you to do is write down the information in a simpler form. So we know that we've got Mandy and Lara, and they are sharing €10 in the ratio of 3 to 2. So I've written 3 underneath Mandy and 2 underneath Lara because it's always in that order. So if it's Mandy first, then the first one here belongs to Mandy. So Mandy has 3 parts and Lara has 2. Now that means that if Mandy has 3 parts and Lara has 2, then altogether there are 5 parts because we have to add them together to tell us how many parts there are. So we could say that Mandy's got 3 boxes and Lara's got 2 boxes, and altogether there's 5 boxes, and we need to share these €10 out into these 5 boxes to know how much goes into one of them. So if we do €10 divided by 5, it gives us €2. That means that if Mandy's got 3 boxes, €2 will go in all 3 of those boxes. Okay, and Lara will have €2 in her 2 boxes. So if Mandy has 3 boxes with €2 in each, then we need to do €2 times 3, which is €6. And Lara has 2 boxes with €2 in each. We need to do €2 times 2, which gives us €4. So now we know that Mandy has €6, Lara has 2, and if Mandy has €6, Lara has 4, and if we add them together it makes 10, which gives us our €10 that we started with. Okay, so why don't you pause the video and have a go at this one? Okay, if you've had a go, let's have a look. A 35ml orange drink is made by mixing orange juice and water in the ratio of 4 to 3. So straight away, I know I've got orange juice and water in the ratio of 4 to 3. The number of equal parts altogether is 7, so 4 here plus 3 is 7. Okay, now because the orange juice has 4 parts, we know that if there are 7 parts altogether and we're sharing 35ml between these 7 parts, we need to do 35 divided by 7, which gives us 5. If 4 parts are orange juice, then I need 4 of these. So 4 times 5 is 20. If 3 parts are water, then I need 3 of these. So 5 times 3 is 15ml. So that's our answers. And if we check, 20 add 15 does make 35. So we know we're right-ish. Okay, why don't you pause the video and have a go at this example? Okay, if you've paused the video and had a go, let's have a look at the question. Uncle John wants to share €20 between Mark and Amy in the ratio of 3 to 1. How much money will each get? So we know that we've got Mark and Amy and they're sharing money in the ratio of 3 to 1. Altogether that means they've got 4 parts. 3 plus 1 is 4. We need to take our £20 and divide it by 4 to tell us how much is in each part. So one part is €5 because 20 divided by 4 is 5. So Mark has 3 parts, which means he wants 3 of these. So 3 times 5 is 15. And Amy's only got 1 part, so she can only have 1 of those. So that's only €5 for Amy. So 15 plus 5 makes 20. So we more or less know we've got it right. And to be fair, it looks right to me. Okay, so here is one more, a little bit harder now. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, so why don't you pause the video and have a go at this one? This one's a little bit trickier. And then press play for the answers. Okay, so if you had a go, just be very careful because the way I've written it, 6 to 3 to 1 here. So actually what it's saying is that you've got flour, margarine and water in the ratio of 6 to 3 to 1. So I'm sorry if you didn't quite get that or missed that one, okay, because I nearly did. 6 to 3 to 1. Okay, 6, 3, 1. What weight of each is needed to make a mixture that weighs 300 grams? Okay, so we know we've got the number of equal parts here is 6 plus 3 plus 1, which is 10. So we have 10 parts. We then need to think that we've got a mixture that weighs 300 grams and we need to know how much we need for each part. So the amount in one part is 300 divided by 10 so that we can say how much one part is. So 300 divided by 10 is 30 grams. You need 6 lots of this for flour, so 30 times 6 is 180. You need 3 lots of margarine, so 30 times 3 is 90. And you need 1 lot of water, okay, so 30 times 1 is 30. Okay, so you've worked that out, that's all that it's asking you to do. So well done if you did that. Okay, so having a look at some other exam questions now, but this time writing ratios as fractions. So the diagram below shows some squares and some circles. What is the ratio of squares to circles? Well, we know we've got 5 squares and 4 circles, so that can just be written as 5 to 4. But it says, what is the total amount of shapes? Well, that's 9. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now this is the bit that I want you to be careful of. What is the fraction of the total amount of shapes? What fraction of the total amount of shapes are squares? So of all of these shapes, which are 9, there's 9 of them altogether, what fraction are squares? Well, we know there's 5 squares and there's 9 shapes altogether, so it's 5 over 9. Now, even though we have this ratio here of 5 to 4, it's 5 squares, 4 circles, so there's 9 altogether, and it says what fraction of all of the shapes, the total amount of shapes, are squares. 5 squares out of 9 shapes, okay? Then it says a different picture has squares and circles in the ratio of 1 to 2. What fraction of the shapes are squares? Well, again, be careful because it's not any of these numbers that goes on the bottom of the fraction, it's these numbers added up. Well, these numbers added up are 3, so it must be 3 on the bottom. And it says what fraction of the shapes are squares? And it says squares and circles in the ratio of 1 to 2. So squares comes first, so there's only 1 lot of squares out of a total of 3 shapes. So it'd be 1/3. Okay, so let's just go through these as well. I mean, you can pause the video at any point if you do want to have a go at these. I'm just going through them so you get a deep understanding of the different types of questions you would get. So, number 2, there are 20 sweets in a packet. The sweets are either red or blue. 12 of the sweets are red. What fraction of the sweets are red? So first of all, it says that there are 20 sweets in a packet. So we already know that 20 is on the bottom of our fraction. The sweets are either red or blue, and 12 of them are red. Well, that's enough then. We know that it's 12 over 20. Okay, but we can put that into its simplest form. It doesn't ask us to, so you would still get the mark, but this one does ask us to. But we are going to cancel this down just so it looks neat. 12 over 20, well, we can divide both by 2, giving us 6 over 10. And we can divide both by 2 again, giving us 3/5. So that is our answer. Like I said, you would get the mark for this because it doesn't ask you to put it in its simplest form. However, B says, what is the ratio of red sweets to blue sweets? Give your answer in its simplest form. So we know that there are 12 red sweets, okay? And if there are 20 sweets altogether, then there must be 8 blue sweets, okay? 12 plus 8 equals 20. If I cancel that down, we can half it, so giving us 6 to 4. And we can also half it again, giving us 3 to 2. So this is what is going to get you just 1 mark, unfortunately. But it's an easy question, so please don't skip them. Okay, number 3. Simone has a selection of green and red pens. Of the 3/5 of the pens are red. Write down the ratio of green to red pens. Now in this case, be very careful. Okay, what it's saying is 3/5 of the pens are red, which means there are 3 pens that are red out of a total of 5 pens. So that means that altogether there are 5 pens, so 2 of them must be blue. Okay, because 3 are green rather. So 3 are red, so 2 of them must be green because there's 5 altogether. So if there are 3 red pens and 2 green pens, okay, but the question is saying to write down the ratio of green to red. Well, green is 2, red is 3, and altogether it makes 5. So that's your answer, 2 to 3. Okay, so hopefully now you understand what our ratio is. You've managed to split quantities into ratios and you've written ratios as fractions. So well done. Thank you so much for using Cuba Education and I look forward to seeing you next time.